spread out from horizon to horizon. We're a Times change, people change, but the Veil will always be here. Spacer's Choice will always be here. Our work won't ever... I wish you wouldn't say things. Yes, as a matter of... When I stand at my window and look out over my town, here's what I see. I see decent, loyal... We are all part of the Spacer's Choice family. We are all doing what we were brought into this... This is a Spacer's Choice town. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family here. Loyalty's got nothing to do with it, friend. This is good old-fashioned gratitude. Go ahead. That you are not one of us may work to your advantage. Adelaide and her folk loathe the people of Edgewater, you see. I admit the fault was mine. I'm about as diplomatic as a bristling canid. I just hope Adelaide and her folk will see their way past my flaws and return to town. Nature is uglier. There is safety here. Safety and purpose. But not all of us see that. And yes, we have lost good workers to desertion. We have lost even more to plague. But it is why we must square our shoulders and carry on.
Got my sights on you.
Oh, that's Thomas. He used to follow me around before he left the cannery.
If you're hungry, Stefan's got supplies. Keep your wits about you, friend.
He took one down! I
Processing.
always wanted... Incoming! Everyone all right?
System. Market security. Connect security.
Here they go!
Alt. Invest.
Here they come! Nice hit! Not you!
Processing.
There they go!
Adjacent target. System update.
On my way! Here goes nothing! No hard feelings, okay?
Alt.
Here they come!
Required in nearby automac.
Woo! We made it! The control room should be ahead somewhere in it. Here they come! Ah! Ah!
Onyx sweeping.
Get ready!
Rose beginning.
Oh! Nice hit! Down they go!
Clinic performing.
Here they come! That's the last of them!
Phantom! You're not real! You're not real! Get away from me, Phantom! You can talk? The Phantom's never talked before. I knew I shouldn't have eaten that sprat raw. See? See, Higgins? This is why you must always boil your sprats before ingesting. Of course. Sprats are an excellent source for my daily recommended intake of mercury. Chester D. Higgins. The D stands for definitely not insane. I use it as a reminder. Oh, Higgins has been many things over the years. Sprat Wrangler, Saltuna critic, Aetherwave personality, chairman of the board, galactic defender, Sisty Pig tycoon. I've come a long way for someone who started off as a simple engineer right here in this plant. I specialized in automechanicals, drones, sentries, repaired them, maintained, upgraded, did it all from my old workroom just over in the next section. Jimmy'd opened the vending machines. That lasted a good couple of months. Eventually, I had to resort to more unconventional means of filling my insides. Mechanicals lost their bolts. Opened fire on anything that moved. It was pandemonium. I was on cleaning duty at the time. My old boss had me scrubbing pipes when the killing started. So, as usual, I missed out. Look, I don't want to fall into any trouble with the mechanicals. If they wise up to our plans, they will come for us. With prodding irons. You know, you remind me of myself back when I was an intergalactic adventurer. There's no changing that, but you could rewrite their targeting protocol so they attack each other instead. Yes, that's exactly it. I see you're also versed in the noble art of mechanical engineering. There's a behavior control terminal in the other room. It should have options to change how the mechanicals act, including whom they shoot at. Oh, that reminds me. You'll need my passcode to access the behavior control terminal. Here, let me just write it down for you. The tail. Definitely start with the tail. If you're feeling adventurous, the ears are a particular delicacy. Mechanicals lost their bolts. Open... You mean, why did the mechanicals go on a murderous rampage? Same reason any of us do, I suppose. The voices told them to do it. I was on cleaning duty at the time. Jimmy'd opened the vending machines. What's eating you? The tail. Jimmy'd opened the vent.
Mind the steam. You're liable to get scalded. 3 switches. That'll be easy enough. Just 2 more. What'll happen to Miss McDevitt's folk if we send power to the Vale? Something you need?
System
Incoming! Nice one! Nice! Not working! When to go? If we send the power to Miss McDevitt, what happens to Will?
process.
All together! Don't mess with us. The last. I'm not sure what the right is. Alls I know is the decision's final. Once we do this, there's no going back. Hey, mister? Look, I know you want your power regulator and all, but I just gotta ask you. Do you understand what you're about to do? I don't think you should cut off Edgewater's power. I think it would be cruel. I'm sorry. That just sort of came out all at once. Edgewater's hurting. We've been losing workers year after year, and corporate hardly ever sends replacement people in it. Decent, hard-working folk just living their lives the only way they know how. They don't deserve to be punished. That sure sounds like Mr. Thompson. If he was standing here, I imagine he'd remind us of how we're all one big, happy Spacer's Choice family. In Mr. Thompson's eyes, those deserters are still part of the Spacer's Choice family. The family must work together and I hate to say it, but I think Mr. Thompson's got a point. Unless those deserters come back, Edgewater's as good as dead. Cutting off their power might be the only way. Sorry, I didn't mean to babble on like that. I just... Really? I mean, wow.
That's the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail. Elsewise, I would have seen you for the snake that you are, chopped you into pieces and This is all you're doing. Cutting off my power, killing off my garden. Without refrigeration, my food will spoil, and my flock will starve. I want to ask you this in private, away from the eyes of my flock, so they do not see me lose my temper. You want my flock wasting their lives in that? Go talk to Grace and Thomas. Look them in the eye and tell them their life here is over, and the only thing left to do is go back to Edgewater. And you tell Reed Thompson that I will never return to Edgewater. I would rather die among my flowers than live under his management. You offering to cross Reed off, huh? This some sort of twisted reparation for what you've done? Or you just looking for a chance to sow some chaos? Kill Reed if you must, or talk him into leaving if you can. He and I are not sharing the same four walls together. My son worked in that cannery. When the plague started coming, he was one of the first to fall sick. We had a store of medicine locked away, but Reed refused to treat him. Said my boy didn't deserve treatment. Said the medicine would have been wasted. So I buried my boy in the cemetery, gathered my belongings, and left. Tell Reed that I can make his people healthy again. I can end their plague. Start a new garden right in the cannery. 3 square meals for every man and woman in Edgewater. Tell him how I've made the Vale bloom again. The soil has whispered its secrets to me, and I alone know how to... The secret is human corpses. I've been grinding them up in my fertilizer for years. Marauder, worker, don't matter much to me. The human body is... Edgewater Cemetery's got corpses aplenty. Enough for a generation's worth. Look at that.
keeps staring at me. Whoa,
Are things safe out here?
great, just great. I've been trying to keep stuff running, just like you. Only I'm not so... Wait, they didn't kick you out, did...
Oh gosh, no, I'm...
I seen you wandering around here. You know... Never heard it phrased in such a way before. I guess we're all trying to get our ships up. Sorry, I just wasn't sure if you... Fact is, I've been, well, lying. To everybody here. Camp thinks I'm a mechanical genius, but I couldn't fix a busted... I'll take all the help I can get. I set my mind to learning the craft of the engineer, you see. I want to make something of myself. You ever heard of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering? Comes in a set of 3. If I had my hands on one of those data pads, I could teach myself the ins and outs.
Those are good. My dad kept a...
I know the... No kidding! The geothermal plant? Now that is just incredible! You really went... I appreciate... In fact, I put... Sure. I've been thinking about going back. I'm not much use to anybody here. I get sick thinking about working at the cannery. You know something? I think you're right. The town could use another engineer, and I'm on my way. I could do a lot of good in Edgewater. Maybe even keep a garage of my own with a little workbench and... It's just... Adelaide's never gonna forgive me. Not in 100 years. Adelaide hates Edgewater, hates everything Edgewater stands for, hates what that town does to people. We're the nearest she's got to kin. Are you sure about this? You know where to find me.
Marauders can't see us in the dark. The matters... Fact is, I can't go anywhere long as Zoe's missing. It's not like Zoe to go wandering. Can't imagine where she's gone. Appreciate... I'll tell you what, vex me. If she told anybody, they ain't telling me. I'd check her room, but I got yelled at for snooping once already. Little ways ago. She was always obsessing over her serial dramas. Well, enough to know we never got on. What is it?
This is a fine day. I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way to reason. Then we are at an impasse. Stewardship over this town has been entrusted to me by... I am not perfect. I have made my... I am a Spacer's Choice man. My father was a Spacer's Choice man. Edgewater may not look like much to some buttoned-up freelancer. I don't believe you. Plague's a reality of life. You are disparaging our parent company. We are a Spacer's Choice Saltuna cannery. We eat... I don't understand. You say Adelaide's growing her own food, but that should not be possible. The soil's gone sour. Company said as much. Our own botanists couldn't grow decent crops for us, so the company got rid of them and shut down the greenhouse. You'll excuse me for being skeptical. How exactly is Adelaide growing crops in barren soil? If Adelaide's found a way to feed her people and cure the plague, then she deserves this office more than I do. I won't stand in her way. My life here is ended. Give me a little time to settle my affairs. A couple months ago, I might have put in for a transfer. It's a big colony. Spacer's Choice has other towns. No such thing as an honorable resignation. Suppose I could find a place outside the walls, or... I don't know. I could... I do. Adelaide's found a cure for the plague, and she knows how to tend to crop. She...
Don't see why Thomas can't just... something I... You mean Zoe? Yeah, we were pretty... Zoe and I were gonna watch the serials as his... You sound like some type of corporate... Can't say I recall... She called it... Hey, I'll help if I can.
I'm not in the light. I'll tell you what I can. What is it?
Fancy duds. Nothing. With the power gone, we've... I'll help if I can. Zoe was all... Shame she... The other day I got my hand...